Good evening.
Alrighty.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hopefully the audio is fixed now. If it isn't, just please let us know. Uh, Today will be Monday, October 23rd, 2023. Let's go around the table and discuss what everyone did in their downtime. Who wants to go first?
Um,
I can. So, um, Nathan spent his 2 days. We only had 2 day actions this time. The first day he spent time talking to his grandmother about his grandfather's death and whether she thinks he's a ghost. And she does spend time discussing his heart problems that led to his death. But once we get to the subject of ghosts, she simply tells me to knock it off. While I know the majority of people do become ghosts, there's no guarantee, but it is likely. So, and day two, I went to recruit Moneybags. I don't know if you remember Moneybags, but he was the ghost we met who was pretty much falling apart and trying to sell his limbs at the market. Moneybags was not difficult to convince. Upon mentioning how I might help him strengthen his ghostly essence, he's willing to sign anything we want. So, we have a new crew member, and that's Nathan.
So for my downtimes, I didn't do anything super complicated. I just did a spearfishing attempt to uh, to try and get as much information as possible from Todd, the gentleman who killed uh, Meathead, and was able to get several gigs worth of files on through that. So I'm gonna start sifting through that, see what I can find. And I also started the recruitment process of um, for Old Man Houlihan. So he was a little weary at first, but he seems to be opening up a little bit. So we'll see how it goes.
Alrighty.
and that leaves me. Let me take a quick look to remind myself. So uh, Ty first went and talked to Gus about joining the crew. We need some help, and he's been one of the most cooperative friends we've got, so we thought it'd go pretty smoothly, and it did. He was really willing to join the crew. He commented he's always figured something was up with the town, and that we need some adult supervision, so he's willing to tag along to keep us safe. Um, and then I started to look for some signs of any other members of my team. With how many ghosts we've been seeing around here, surely the odds that one of the team members of the entire hockey team, other than me, was a ghost, right? Well, I've heard some rumors about noises and flickering lights in the new gym, the one with the little rink the team had used for practice. So I'm gonna look in on that.
Awesome.
All right. So let's go ahead and begin. You guys had mentioned that you wanted to go to the film festival on the 23rd, correct?
Yeah.
And I believe that's today.
That's gonna be
Yep.
fun.
And Olive, my keyboard is not a pillow. Thank you very much.
It could be.
All right. So, do you guys want to meet up at the film festival?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
All righty. You guys meet up after in the evening after school at the Old Town Theater. Uh, the Olive the Thank you, Olive. Oh boy, my notes. Thank you, Olive. This is exactly what I wanted to do to my notes. They absolutely needed about 100 spaces.
Control Z, man. Control Z.
I should have thought of that, but whatever. The deed is done. So after school that Monday, you meet up around 8 p.m. at the theater. The block has been cordoned off for the film festival. In fact, looking at everything here, this is a bit more than what you were bargaining for with the term film festival. The area in front of the theater uh, has several booths set up, and there's tables where people are buying food from food trucks and eating, etc. Um, the sign out front says that the first movie of the night is set to begin at 9 p.m. and it will be going until the festival will be going until 9 a.m.
Looks like we're in for a good time. Ty is grateful that he got a nap after school before this. We are on a weekday, right?
Yes, it's a Monday.
Yep.
They have an all-night thing going on Monday? That is some
It,
poor scheduling.
it's a tourist town.
Fair enough. Nathan is uh excited to be here.
We have carefully arranged it that both of our parents think that we're staying over at Nathan's, not Nathan's, Ethan's, and I believe Ethan is supposed to be at one of our places.
Yep.
Of course, the moment I tell Olive that she can't rest her head on my keyboard, she leaves.
It's clear what she really wanted.
Welcome in, Void.
Howdy, Void. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Void. We're back.
All right. Having been informed about that you have an hour until the film festival starts, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I heard that the museum uh, has a presence here, and I would love to get to take a look and see what they've got. Get to know the dude.
All right. Looking. Anyone else have any? Want to have a look around?
Nathan would very much like to find some food.
All
Uh,
righty. Ethan want to look around too?
yeah, I'm just gonna do a vibe check, I guess.
All right. First things first. There are a number of food trucks here, mostly selling things like sandwiches, tacos, etc. Um, Near the food trucks, there's set up a large table for local Girl Scout Troop 13 selling cookies. You can see several Girl Scouts talking to multiple people around. Uh, in front of a mountain of cookie boxes, there is a jar. You're too far away to read what it says, but it has a picture of a young girl on it. And looking at the table, you can see the same young girl in scout uniform selling cookies.
I go talk to that same little girl.
Hmm?
Wait, sorry. Does she look like a ghost?
No.
I think that's a person. That might be a human person. I know we've not been running into too many of those, but there are humans alive in this town.
But her picture is on the jar.
Yes. Sometimes people take pictures of themselves.
Okay, so Nathan goes to talk to her and asks her what the fundraiser is for.
The girl looks up and smiles. She's a redhead with her hair done up in pigtails under her Girl Scout hat. You can see on the jar with her face is a little small note written that you can read from this distance saying, "Donate to my surgery." Uh, the Girl Scout looks up at you, beaming, and says, "Hi, the den mother has been very nice to me. She decided that our booth here would help raise funds for my heart surgery."
That's really nice of her.
Yeah, I'm near the top of the transplant list. Any day now. She uh, crosses her fingers and smiles up at the three of you. Do you guys want to buy some cookies?
Yes, I will buy. Cookies. I will take cookies.
All right, and somebody roll me a chance die, please.
Does one of you guys want to jump on that, or should I?
I'll do it. Oh dear. This is a this is not a person we need to have kicking around in the horror game. Oh dear. That's a one, Kenny. That's a natural one.
Jeff.
Oh no. Oh, poor
Are you
thing.
about to blame me for the dice gods? Is that what you were about to do?
No, I was saying
Yes.
poor thing. Oh no, Kenny. Why you do
Uh,
this to
the Girl Scout hands over the cookies and takes the money. She beams up at you and says, "My name's Susie. Susie Colmet." And then her face turns blue and she falls face forward into the pile of cookies. Uh, Several of the Girl Scouts immediately swarm over to tend to her. As you watch, you notice a uh, a gaunt-looking ghost of what appears to be an old woman float out from behind one of the food trucks. She stares at you briefly before turning to Susie and raising one ghostly hand. You see a flow of ectoplasm from the ghost to Susie as the ghost herself grows more gaunt and skeletal. Susie stands back up and takes a deep breath and says, "I'm okay. Don't worry," she says as she hands you an extra box of cookies for the trouble. "That happens pretty often."
I hope you are feeling better soon. Um, I'm I, I'm gonna go. I clock where the old woman goes after this and follow them.
Yep, we're following that old woman.
The ghost of the old woman, after being satisfied that Susie is up and kicking again, floats back off through one of the nearby food trucks. Uh, Keeping your eyes on her, uh, you see her appearing from the other side of the food trucks in a darker corner away from the lights. She hovers against in the corner near one of the buildings across the street and attempts to, as far as you can tell, uh, do the ghostly equivalent of catch her breath.
That's pretty impressive. Nifty trick you got there.
I
The
hand
old
her a
woman,
granola bar.
the granola bar falls through her hand. She's a ghost.
I crush the granola bar and then hand it to her.
As the granola bar is destroyed, a cast off is produced. Before it can begin its zippy journey to the nearest Avernian gate, uh, Nathan grabs it and hands it to the ghost of the old woman. The old woman uh, bites into it as though starving half to death. You can see plumpness come back into her cheeks as ectoplasmic flesh fills itself back in. She starts coughing like dust has settled into her lungs, and then says, "Thank you," in a raspy voice.
No need to thank me. I just want to know how you did that. Or what you did.
Little Susie anchors me to the living world. She coughs. Most of us who have some sort of anchor like that have the ability to influence it.
Oh, I see. And so you're starting her heart again using your influence.
I'm able to strengthen her a little. It's enough to keep her heart beating. She coughs again, but I'm not sure how long I'll be able to manage it. It's
Question.
been rough.
Um, I'm doing a little bit of research that I think I should be able to get done this evening. Um, if you can make it through tomorrow, what? This is gonna sound really weird. What's the address of your anchor so that I can come meet you and we can talk about a more permanent solution that'll leave you a little extra essence to work with when doing this?
The ghost happily assents and rattles off the address.
All right. Um, we're gonna be around if you find yourself having to overextend yourself. Locate us. We can serve as an anchor for a while, and we can probably find some spare essence to give you.
She nods. Thank you. She'll probably be okay. Her heart only gets close to failure once or twice a week.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
Only?
I'm glad you have this under control to the extent that you have. And I hope that that transplant will solve the problem long term.
She nods. It's been a few years, but I think I think I've been able to strengthen her heart a little. It used to be more frequent.
Wow.
Okay.
You've done
You
a good job.
you are a trooper, ma'am. Um if you need anything, we're gonna be around at the festival all night.
The ghost smiles, uh, sadly. She is my little angel, and I'll do everything I can to keep her on this side of the veil as long as possible.
We are happy to assist in that. Nobody needs to go this early. We didn't want to.
I think I've heard of you three. I've heard that there are sin eaters out and about around town, helping ghosts.
Well, we'd like to help you too. I need to finish some research, but I think I found a way to help ghosts hang on to their essence a little bit easier. And since you've got a nice strong anchor, it should help.
That would be nice. Being able to stay near my dear little Susie keeps my essence strong, but I have to help her keep her heart strong so often that I can rarely build myself back to full strength.
All right. Well, guys, good meeting you. I had some other appointments to get to. Best of luck with little Susie.
Right, and you said you wanted to find the museum's booth.
Yeah, if that's all right. Poor
All
little
right. Well,
Susie. Oh my God. That was grim as fuck.
well, uh, you find yourself your way to the museum's to booth fairly easily. It's one of the bigger booths there. You notice Sybil, the receptionist, dealing with a group of people, but with her is a middle-aged man that you don't quite recognize. He's balding, but has had his hair cut in uh, as close as it to the skull as he can, and appears to with a costume store hairpiece fashioned a widow's peak. He's wearing a black t-shirt and dress pants, as well as a costume vampire cape. Um, you can see on the table, in addition to information about the museum, there's also several VHS tapes of Count Fred's Monster Movie Madness that are being sold. Uh, the man waves over as he sees you guys watching. Uh, he pulls the cape over his mouth and then, in an extremely hokey fake accent, says, "Well, hello and welcome to the Frederick Ripley's Museum of Murder and Mayhem. Well, the booth for it. You may have seen the museum around town, young man. Or perhaps you've seen my midnight movies on public access. Ooh.
Good to meet you at last, Count Fred. Um, we've been by and taken your tour and seen the museum. Both are absolutely fantastic.
He clears his throat, dropping the accent, and says, well, a lot of the local kids don't see the museum, but I really want to try to make sure that they do. It's good that you guys get to see the history of the town, and I try to, you know, make it interesting. I mean, the town is full of spooky occult mysteries. Will you three be the one to solve them?
Well, that's what we're attempting to do since our entire class died on a class field trip.
Mr. Ripley's face goes entirely white. He looks down at Sybil. The old woman who works as the receptionist looks up at him and nods and says, "Yes, we saw them uh, briefly before the rest of the class were discovered nearby." "I am really sorry, kids," says Mr. Ripley. "Here, free passes, free
Don't
VHS
don't
tapes."
worry about it. I actually wanted to talk to you about something today because for natural reasons we've been taking an interest in the history and we found something really interesting that we thought you'd like to know.
Yeah?
We think we found a little more information about what happened with the Hollywood gassings in this very theater.
Uh, Mr. Ripley's face lights up. "Really?" he says.
The problem is we don't know if we can get access to the information ourselves because we're a bunch of, well, random teenagers.
"Well, the theater's not opening for another half hour. There's going to be a pre-show with Casper the Kung Fu Cat before the first movie starts."
Well, if you can get us into that theater either before or like maybe tomorrow, I could probably see about showing you what we heard about. It's gonna need the place to be empty for just us because it's gonna be a little bit disruptive. But if we can get some time in there, I'd love to see if we were right about what we heard.
Well, I think the only people in there right now are theater staff. And, of course, Jared and Casper.
Well, maybe tomorrow then. We could probably, if you can get access to the theater, I could see about showing you. Because obviously, if there's anybody who'd be able to get the most out of a little bit of extra history, it'd be you.
Well, I can talk to the owner. She's always been very accommodating when it comes to matters of local history. Are you sure you don't want the VHS tapes?
You know what?
I I already have I already have most of your shows recorded. It's
He lights up when you say that. "Well, thanks. Remember, you can see me on WPTV at 3 a.m. every full moon."
Yeah,
uh,
the hockey league didn't really let me stay up that much, but I'll have to give it a watch.
also some things we've gotten uh, some stuff together, and we're forming a little bit of an investigation uh, hobbyist group. I think you might fit in.
Well, it's good to see you kids so passionate about local history, even with recent tragedies.
There's something going on here, and it would be good if people knew more about it. So maybe we can figure out why this stuff is happening. I don't know.
Mr. Ripley looks briefly confused and is saying, "Well, history is alive, as they say."
Our names are gonna end up right along next to all those other ones in your museum one of these days. Let me know if you need some photos.
Mr. Ripley assents. You can tell that he's still feeling extremely awkward.
Anyways, sorry, I'm trying to take this as well as I can. Um, you didn't do anything. It's just the whole situation. I'm sure you understand. But if you're
I'm
interested in
very
that, we could go take a look sometime, either after the movies today or some other time. We can show you what we found out about the Hollywood gassings.
That sounds interesting. Of course, I would take you up on that.
reach across and shake his hand and take a look at the others, see if they had anything else they wanted to say.
I think that we can find a side of history that maybe needs to be told in your museum and everywhere else.
Well, history is important. Uh, it's why I opened the museum. And if you kids are that passionate about it, then I'd absolutely love to see whatever you have to show me.
All right. We make our way to the exits before Fred's awkwardness starts producing some sort of supernatural effect. um, I didn't have anything else planned, guys. What do you want to do?
Hibbs had a thing.
I had a thing.
Yeah, I think you
I
wanted
th-
a vibe check of the place, ghost and otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, just get see if they other than the um the, the girl, see if there's anybody that I should keep an eye on.
All right, roll for investigation then, please.
I'd like to assist.
All right. Well, roll for perception, I mean. Sorry, we don't need to roll for investigation just yet.
Okay. Is wits and composure, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah, I'm also assisting.
I've got some sharp eyes.
3,
3 from me and 6 from Jeff. Jesus.
That's a +9 bonus.
Think you'll do okay with that?
2 successes.
Well, that's a success. So, looking around in the crowd, there's a lot of people here, and about a quarter as many ghosts milling around the crowd. Uh, Beyond the museum and the booth of the Girl Scout booth and the food trucks and the various tables for them, you can also see several other things. There is a booth for the local for the local hotel, the Castle of the Macabre. Um, this one is a kind of semi-famous in town because it was the site of a unsuccessful serial killer who was actually caught. Uh, it's also semi-famous for being run by the mayor's cousin. You can see him there now manning the booth and talking to people. An older man in a top hat and tails. Uh, there's a booth for the Scream Shack. Lucerne is sitting there. Lucy is sitting there uh, on a laptop with a stack of coupons. Occasionally, someone comes up to talk to her. She gives a brief spiel about the Scream Shack and what's available, and hands out as many coupons as she can grab with one hand. It's clear that she doesn't exactly want to be here. There's also a rather fancy booth near the front for the Red Room. There is a man there that that you don't remember seeing, at least not this close up. Um, he's wearing a burgundy silk shirt and very well ironed black dress pants. He's handing out flyers with coupons, and it looks like notes about a raffle to be held on the nightclub's opening this weekend. The only other thing of note with this booth is that this man seems to be surrounded by about 6 ghosts, all staring intently at him.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty interested in the red room.
Oh, and there's also a line forming to get into Casper's show.
Oh crap, we do need to make that. Um, how about one of us go get in the line, and we could go. We could go try and bother the red room guy and see if we can talk to the ghosts sotto voce.
Do you want me to go stand in line?
Up to you.
I think we should have the person who's good at talking and negotiating talk to the guy with several ghosts around him.
Fair enough.
Ethan, would you mind
Oh,
holding the line?
Yeah. Well, what's
he
up?
he could, or I mean, this is a small town. We could just put our backpack in line.
Fair enough. I can keep an eye on it.
Can I roll to negotiate with the persons in front of and behind it?
Sure.
It's not like the line's moving yet. It's just going to be a static line, right?
Manipulation plus persuasion.
Yeah.
We gotta see Casper the Kung Fu Cat. Why did we come here if not to see Casper the Kung Fu Cat?
I know, right?
3 successes to ask them to move our bag up along with them and save our space while we um, go get something to eat because we've been at school all day.
The guy in line shrugs and says, sure, why not? It's not like it's going to be any skin off his nose.
All right.
While you've been busily looking around, your Geists have manifested to poke around as well. The prom queen seems completely taken by everything around. Uh, Be Aggressive has crawled her way over to one of the food trucks and is vehemently trying to eat every burrito that is handed to the customers. Uh, she is not successful, being a ghost, but you can see that a puzzled look comes over every person's eye as Be Aggressive makes the attempt to steal their food. Uh, Meathead, meanwhile, is the only one who seems fairly comfortable in the crowd. He goes from booth to booth, eye hovering above his neck stump, reading all the information.
Well, I'll try and get a burrito on the way back in. But we do need to see if we can get some time in.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Jeff.
We will try and get the burrito. We'll try and get a burrito on the way back in, but we do need to see if we can talk to the Red Room guys real quick, because I don't know how many times we're gonna have to talk to them, and I don't know if they let 18-year-olds in. Probably don't. And if they do, we're to figure that out now. Also, those ghosts.
All right, so you guys wanted to go over to the Red Room booth.
Yep.
Uh, so the three of you head over to the Red Room booth. The man in the silk burgundy shirt smiles wide at you. You notice he immediately catches your age, and before you even open your mouth, he holds up a hand and says, I know what you're thinking. Do they even let kids your age into nightclubs? Yes, that's what these hand stamps are for. You see, he pulls one out and demonstrates on a piece of paper. We stamp in big cities. We stamp underage kids' hands with this so that the bartender knows not to sell them alcohol. So if you kids do want to dance the night away at the Red Room when we open this weekend, well, you're welcome to do so and tell all your friends. He flashes you a winning, mildly hungry smile.
I'm so glad to hear that. Didn't catch your name.
Ah, that would be Draven, Daniel Draven the Third.
I see. Lovely to meet you. Um, we actually came through the other day with the tour, and I was wondering, since you guys are getting set up, do you need any help around the place? I know I can't like serve alcohol, but I'm a big dude. I can carry heavy stuff, and I've found myself with a lot of free time lately.
Well, it's awful hard to get day labor up here. I thought that there'd be more folks looking for work, but it looks like just about everyone who needs work is working at Farmer Kimball's, or they were working at the S Mart. Uh, but there's also the ski lodge. I'm sure you kids being townies know all about that. So yeah, I'm willing to hire any day labor who's looking to make a quick buck. Under the table, of course. Uncle Sam doesn't need to know.
Don't know what you're talking about. Of course, I'm just coming to check the place out on my own free time.
As you guys talk, the ghosts that are fixated on Dan Draven turn around to look at you. You can tell that recognition blooms in their eyes as they start wailing in a chorus.
I try and signal as subtly as I can, hey, let's go talk over there to the ghosts. Oh, says I try and wrap up the conversation with Dan asking about when the raffle is.
Well, we're going to be holding a raffle for season tickets. He links uh, a year's pass with no cover. We're going to be holding the raffle after the end of the first movie.
Awesome. How much for a ticket?
One buck.
You got it. I break out a fiver and throw it to him. One each for these guys and the rest for me.
Can do. He hands out the tickets. The ghosts who were wailing incoherently uh, appear to have gotten their acts together slightly. Uh, they are no longer screaming over each other in such a way as to make them all incoherent. Uh, the chorus is hollering at you, each other, and Dan Draven in equal measure. Things like monster, murderer.
Anyways, I'll see you later. Good to meet you, Dan. And I head off, hoping that one of the various ghosts got the hint and follows me.
Roll me a chance die.
Come on. Believe in me. Ah, two! Two
Yeah.
successes somehow.
The dice god's making up for that earlier chance die. Chance
Okay, well,
die.
it's not. Well, it's not a good thing that happened to the little girl. If we hadn't got that, we wouldn't have known about it. And I feel like we're in a better position to help her than we would be if we didn't know about it.
So,
So I
uh,
think that was the good result long term.
so Mr. Draven hands over the tickets to you, uh, and winks and says, "Hey, when you go get something to eat, kid, I know those burritos look awful good, but maybe you should consider a salad. leafy greens are good for the blood.
Keep it in mind.
Uh, one of the ghosts seems to have gotten your hint, and as the three of you head off, floats off after you, having stopped wailing with the other five.
There has to be somewhere we can go look at our phones and chat amongst ourselves off in a corner. I do so.
Well, there's a number of open tables where the food trucks are set up. So it's not hard for you to do that. Are you all three coming to chat with the ghost, or are you breaking up?
I think I'm gonna stay with uh and talk IT with Dan because if getting day labor is hard here, getting a decent IT person is gonna be difficult too.
So, how about you deal with that, and me and Nathan can go have a quick chat with the ghost and figure out why they're screaming, Monster! So, hi. Uh, y'all seem pretty upset back there. What's with that guy?
The ghost, which is this ghost in front of you, is clearly starved and has a weak essence. You can tell because you can hardly tell anything about them. They appear to be more or less a living ectoplasmic shadow. Nevertheless, when asked the question, the ghost moans in a low voice. Death, death surrounds him. He killed us.
Okay, let's try and make this a little easier. Do you got another one of those granola bars, Nathan?
Nathan, in fact, always carries 12, so he has 11 left.
Smash! Grabs. Have something. I need you to be a little more coherent here. So he murdered you. So like recently, or there were a lot of you. I don't know what's going on.
The ghost happily eats the granola bar, and some detail comes back to its shadowy face. You can make out the gaunt lines of its skull. Uh, the ghost looks around and says, "When? What year is it?"
Uh, it's
It's
2024 in here,
2023.
right?
2023.
2023.
2023. Do you
The
remember anything
ghost
about what happened?
the ghost looks wistful. He he was so charming. The light from the mirror ball shone on his teeth. He told me that I looked groovy and told me to come into the VIP lounge.
Got it. Um, Thank you for letting us know. And it is, to be fair, to be exact, that guy sitting over at the desk who you guys are following around that killed you. Just to make sure I got this.
The ghost nods.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll look into it. I'm afraid I can't do anything about it right now, but I promise you we're on it.
How
She
did he kill
begins,
you?
all I can remember, moans the ghost, is blood and the cold.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty common.
We've got a serial killer on our hands, and he's running the local nightclub and appears to be both incredibly young and to have been operating for the last 50 years.
And you just signed up to work for him.
How the fuck
So it
else do
looks
we know?
like my Zoom is about to crash. I'll be back momentarily.
Okay.
I apologize for the visuals you are about to see.
Everyone ready for the frame shuffle?
Let's do the time warp again. So let's go over this real quick while we've got a minute. All right, Kenny, you're back and alive from all reports. So, we've got a apparently young man who has a string of victims and has been operating since they unironically said groovy in places with disco balls. We're ghosts, so supernatural things are real, and we know that there must be another kind because we've got a ghost friend who's got horns, and Lucerne, who's close to him, very clearly has something going on with her that they're not willing to talk to us about. I lean over the table. Nathan, do you believe in vampires?
No, of course not. Vampires don't exist.
Neither do ghosts.
Yes, they do. We've seen them.
Yeah, exactly. But if I'd asked this question of you, oh, I don't know, a month ago, what would you have said?
Nathan thinks for a moment and goes, a month ago, I would have told you that ghosts don't exist because there was no verifiable proof.
How about a man who looks like he's 20 years old who killed somebody in the 1970s?
Maybe he doesn't like the burritos because they've got garlic on them.
Regardless, I think it's worth having in mind. You know?
Uh, Nathan starts walking towards the burrito truck to buy a garlic burrito.
I
The
head back to
line,
the line.
right, the line of the food truck isn't very long, and after a few minutes of waiting, you get your burrito with extra garlic.
I politely had asked him to get at me a burrito as well, and I chow down on it for the sake of my poor be aggressive.
As Ty eats the burrito, Be Aggressive hops up and down in apparent ecstasy, smacking her incredibly long tongue over her razor sharp teeth.
It's so good to be able to do something for her.
I love your ghost.
I've got a good one. I picked a good one.
Does prom queen seem to be enjoying the extra garlic?
As Nathan eats, the prom queen seems to be thinking very hard on the notes of the flavor. When you look at her to to verify, she smiles and says, "It's been a long time since I tasted so many things at once. They didn't have this sort of food here when I was alive."
Oh, that's the sriracha.
What's a sriracha?
It's a hot sauce.
Well, I like it. Could you eat some more of it?
Yeah. Nathan grabs the bottle of sriracha and liberally doses each bite as he takes it.
The prom queen sits back on the air behind her, hovering, as though in an invisible chair, and closes her eyes and smiles.
So, I think Ethan was having a conversation.
Yeah. So do I have any I don't know supernatural vibes off this dude or Any strangeness vibes?
Roll wits plus occult.
Ready. So here. It sounds like it started raining. It's
Oh,
Well, a
good. That's
dark
what it
and
was.
stormy night. A dark and stormy night is perfect for this sort of thing,
and let's
or at
do
least a dark and stormy afternoon.
sure. Let's do this. Uh, Hold on a sec. Yeah, yeah. Eight, 10. Good
It
job.
was the dark and stormy night of the time change when everything got dark sooner.
Oh,
And
damn. Okay. Um, can I take a beat?
make it a dramatic failure.
Yes.
Do you have anything like a lighter on your person?
Always.
All right. Um, Nathan is talking to Mr. Draven regarding the IT of the Red Room. Mr. Draven's mentioning that he's never been all that good with technology. Things change so fast, and he's got people who handle this sort of thing, but most of them uh, haven't can't got in yet. Oh wow, that's really coming down. Ah, meanwhile, Meathead is peering very closely at Mr. Draven. The eyes flying out of the holes on his neck stump and hovering around 360 degrees around the man. During the conversation, without even thinking about it, Ethan has taken his lighter out of his pocket and has started playing with it. After a couple of mindless attempts at striking, he manages it, and the lighter hums to warm life in his hands. Mr. Draven's eyes are immediately drawn to the lighter. His face, which is already pale, goes perhaps whiter than you thought anyone could ever go. Excuse me, I gotta go, he says, and then immediately heads off towards the uh, line into the theater, pushing his way past and into the theater to the consternation of multiple people.
Woo! Way to go.
By the way, you might want to scroll down on our dice cam because it's still showing the roll that you made a while back. Thank you.
Hopefully that's fixed.
Ready.
Anyways.
Let's see. Dun,
Well,
In this time, Nathan manages to use about a third of the bottle of sriracha, eating his burrito. We did grab one extra for Ethan.
Appreciate it.
All right. Unfortunately, it looks like Ethan's conversation has been cut short, and grant a beat for the dramatic failure.
Well, I guess I'm not getting that job.
okay, Ethan. Ethan.
Yeah.
A month ago. A month ago, if I had told you ghosts are real, you would have told me I was full of shit, right?
Depends on the mood I was in.
But you get what I'm saying. I
I
think the
think so.
dude is a vampire.
I got something to tell you.
When Ty says that he thinks a Draven is a vampire, be aggressive, jumps up on the table and howls, "Vampire! Spooky! Scared!"
Indeed.
Okay. So I was chatting with them, and you know how I fit. Excuse me. You know how I fidget with my lighter, right?
Yeah.
Did you
Nope.
set him on fire?
No, I didn't have to. So I'm doing my Zippo, fiddling around, twirling it and flicking it, and you know, and I'm talking about firewalls and tack 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 tack,
Hmm.
and I I I flip it. I do my usual thing where I roll it across my knuckles, and then toss it up and catch it and flick it all in one motion.
Hmm.
I don't you know how I get that. I
I've
actually
seen it.
see, right?
It's very impressive.
Well, I actually managed to light it. Like I did it. And of course he was watching closely. As soon as that the it lit, he went pale and bolted.
Oh, well, then he can't be a vampire.
Yeah, that's not how fair. Is he Frankenstein then? He doesn't look it. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I told you vampires didn't exist.
I'm sorry, immortal murder having to do with blood. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best here. We'll figure it out.
Hey, maybe their blood was used for an ice luge.
Anyways, we should go get in line. I am not missing this show for the world. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a lot of money more than I paid for those tickets. I know about you, Ethan.
I mean, I'm still on an allowance. Like
Please don't ever
I
tell
don't-
me how much your allowance is. Please don't ever tell me how much your allowance is.
$30 a week.
Oh my god. Anyways, Richard Richardson here. Um, Richie Rich, perhaps you would prefer. Let's get going.
As the hour winds closer to the opening of the film festival, uh, the door inside is opened. You can see that a inside the lobby, a small makeshift ring, sort of like a boxing ring, but on a much, much smaller scale, has been set up. A short, fat, middle-aged man smoking a big cigar standing at the door with a cash box in one hand. "Come on in and see Casper the Kung Fu Cat before the movie start. $5 a ticket, people, and that's cheap at twice the price." You can hear folks in the line talk. "I've always wanted to see Casper live. Yeah, the local news shows footage and it looks like it's such a fun little show. Oh, I caught Casper last year at the county fair and it was a lot of fun."
I could not be more excited to see this show.
Nathan pulls out some cash that he's been saving up from doing chores and pays for all three tickets and wanders close, but not close enough for um, there to be any possibility of dander getting on him.
The bald man takes a long hit on his cigar and snatches the money, putting it in his cash box. He gives you a slightly uncomfortable smile as he hands you the ticket and says, "Go on in, kid. You're in for the heck of a show."
We head on in.
Uh, a number of people are uh, standing around the small ring. Like I said, it's set up like a boxing ring, but it's on a much smaller scale. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet long. And you can see that it's set up with a few different objects on small stands. On one of them, there is a club cracker. On another stand, there is a pencil. And on the third stand, the closest to the group, where to the front where everyone could see it, is a small piece of particle board. Uh, the After everyone gets in, the bald man uh, shoots behind the concession stand and comes back with a pet carrier. Welcome, he says to everyone. I'm Jared Dibbler, and you may know me from the various entertainment acts I've put on in this county over the last 30 years. But this is the greatest one I've ever had. He holds up the pet carrier. Prepare to have your world rocked by Casper the Kung Fu Cat. He presses a button on his phone, and some copyright-free rock music begins to play. He opens the pet carrier, and out comes a white cat with gray ears and a tail. Uh, Jared kneels on the ground and says, "Come over here, Casper." And he fishes into his top pocket and brings out a small strip of black cloth. The cat happily walks on over to Jared, sits down, and bows his head. Jared puts the tiny bandana, not tiny bandana, tiny headband on the cat, tying it up. And now, Casper, time to show why you are the world champion of cat kung fu. He turns the music back on. Dun, 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 and Casper jumps onto his hind feet, making rough gestures like karate stances. Uh, he does a few kicks here and there, landing on one paw. And then Jared says, "All right, time for the first test, Casper." Dun, 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 dun. Casper walks on all fours over to the stand with the cracker. He stands up, meows loudly, and smashes it with his front left paw. The crowd claps politely. Now, you ain't seen nothing yet, Casper. You gotta show 'em the second test. The cat paws on over to the stand with the pencil on it. Dun, 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 dun. And then stands up on hind legs, makes a gesture like this, and breaks the pencil with his front left paw. The crowd cheers even more loudly.
I joined them.
I can't hear you, Jeff.
I joined them, cheering loudly. Ty is super into this.
And now, shouts Jared, it's time to show your feline thunder punch. Dun, 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 dun. Casper walks on over to the stand with the particle board. He's purring and then hops into the air, coming down with his front right paw and smashes directly into the center of it, with the particle board breaking into multiple pieces.
Please
The
tell me
crowd
somebody
goes
has an
insane.
occult roll better than mine, which is like one.
I
Somebody,
have no
please,
occult.
please, please, please tell me if there's something fishy going on here, cause I gotta know.
If you want to roll occult, roll wits or intelligence plus occult.
Can
Alrighty.
I roll a separate roll for wits plus investigation
What for?
Figure out what's
to
going
see
on
if
here.
there's to see in a non-occult way what is going on here.
Okay.
Ty is useless. He's too busy just absorbing the show.
So, Ethan, that was the occult roll, correct?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Your ghostly senses as a sin eater do not pick up anything that would concern you beyond all the ghosts.
Nathan has failed his wits plus investigation roll, and I would love to make it a dramatic failure.
Take a beat. This cat clearly knows the secrets of karate. He is a master. This has to be real. You can't see anything that would say otherwise.
I loudly exclaim such.
Yes, says Jared, pointing at Nathan. Casper was trained in the ancient art of cat karate by a Himalayan master in the Himalayan mountains. The
While I
master was
appreciate
also
that,
a Himalayan cat.
but was I thought it was kung fu, not karate. Those are different styles entirely.
Uh,
Clearly, it's both. He's a
he
multi
looks,
martial art master.
Nathan
Jared
is
picks,
shocked.
Jared picks up the cat and holds it out to Nathan. Behold the face of death.
Nathan immediately violently sneezes and has hives running up his arms.
He was right.
So
Jared yanks the cat away. Sorry, kid. Casper will give you a free autograph.
I go over and start uh and and grab Nathan's medication out of his bag for him.
We knew
And
this was a risk.
yeah.
We went over this.
As this is happening, Jared
Mike!
brings Casper over to a table and with a stack of paper and opens up an ink pad. Uh, Casper obediently puts the paw into the ink pad and stamps it on each piece of paper presented to him. Now, everyone, Casper's autograph. $10 a piece and cheap at twice the price.
Nathan takes his for free.
It's on cardstock. It has the name Casper the Kung Fu Cat uh, on it in a faux cursive font. And at the bottom, copyright Jared Dibbler Entertainment 2020. The paw print is fresh and drawing before your very eyes.
Nathan blows on it to make sure that it dries quicker and then places it into the photo slot in his wallet.
Um, is the cat still where it can be observed, or has been taken to the backstage for privacy?
Casper is still giving autographs. Uh, uh, Meathead has taken up a stance near the table He looks like he was really enjoying himself as he pumps his arms into the air, the fragments of teeth and eye and brain matter flying around in a cyclone around him. He gurgles aloud, "Woo!"
I think that we definitely got our money's worth, guys. And we will never know the true secrets of Casper because obviously they are the secrets of cat kung fu, or perhaps cat karate, or perhaps both.
Cat Tai Chi.
As the autograph line grows larger, you see that theater staff are starting up the popcorn machine and starting the sale of tickets.
Um, I go and pick up the tickets we paid for earlier. The event's been getting ready for a while, and I have everybody's IDs for it. I get back. We picked up 4 tickets because we had plans to have a spare seat left for us so we could let the kid who we met last time have a seat without a butt in it.
Uh, so, you guys are going to head into the movie now?
Yeah.
After that, what could follow that up? Nothing.
Uh,
That's the answer.
all right. So, uh, the group takes their movie tickets and heads into the theater. Um, the kid um, is sitting in the front row, uh, shimmering translucent blue, and scowling up at the blank screen. As he sees you, he waves as the three of you come in.
Hey there. Sorry about this. I take my coat and lay it over the back of the chair he's in. Sorry, but I gotta make it look like somebody's coming here so nobody sits on you.
So you mean I get a seat to myself for the film festival?
We thought you wouldn't mind.
I haven't had a seat to myself for the festival for years.
Well,
Thanks.
we bought an extra ticket just to make it happen.
So what's showing first this year? I haven't got a chance to see the programs because they haven't brought any in here.
Funny enough,
Nathan consults the um, pamphlet.
Looking at a pamphlet of the night's programming, it looks like the first movie is cult classic Chimpula from 1975 about a vampire chimp being set loose in Brooklyn.
that sounds like the exact quality I need for an all-night film festival.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Kenny. Is this a real life movie?
No,
Okay, good.
The fact that they had to ask says something about your choice in movies.
Listen, it would not surprise me if Kenny had managed to find 9B movies to fill the night with, but I am also very glad to see that Kenny is getting a chance to stretch his artistic muscles. So, I had a question for you. There's an introduction I wanted to get made tonight, and I don't know anyone else who might be able to help me. Do you know the projectionist?
he nods and says, "Oh yeah, he shows the movies when the breathers are gone. Obviously, there ain't gonna be a thing to watch except breather movies tonight, but I ain't complaining."
Well, would you mind introducing us to him? We wanted to talk about something.
Well, normally I have a lot of problems leaving the theater area, but I get the feeling if I stick by you guys, I'll be able to take a walk around.
Yep, anywhere you want to go, in fact.
To be honest, there ain't many other places I'd like to go than here. I get to watch movies all day and most nights. Best afterlife I could have asked for.
And in any theater you want to be in.
His eyes light up at that one. I hear that they opened a new theater a few years back. I hear it's been cutting into the profits here, but I'd love to see the new one.
Well, maybe we can find a way to get you a chance to see what's going on over there sometime. But depends on how things go, you know?
So when you want to see him?
Well, it seems like he's gonna have time tonight if you're not busy and show doesn't start for a couple more minutes. We got our seats all booked. I gesture to the arrangement of coats laid across in traditional northern style.
Well, all right. The movie ain't starting for another 15 minutes, so that has we should have time. He points towards the stairs. The projection booth is up there.
Take it you can only
Uh,
stay inside the booth.
yeah, he doesn't really leave it.
All right. Might be awkward getting in there, but we'll see what we can do. We walk
Uh,
up the stairs and see if we can't get the projectionist's attention. We can probably get him to step out there if he'll get in our aura, but we can't physically walk into the projectionist booth for obvious reason. There's a
the
dude.
door to the door to the projectionist's booth is predictably locked.
Um, since we can, help people go where they want to go, do you think you could talk to the dude in there and see if he'd be willing to step out for a minute? Show shouldn't start for a little bit, and I think the breather's got it tonight.
The kid scratches at his chin and says, "Sure, why not?" He floats through the door, and you hear the ghost hollering, saying, "Hey, come on, come on. We got some sin eaters here. You can leave the booth." So a few minutes later, a movie kid steps out. Uh, his he's flipped his newsy cap around backwards and gives you a big grin as he takes a bite from his spectral bag of popcorn that he keeps with him. Here he comes. Another ghost follows behind a moment or two later. This one towers over all of you, easily 10 feet tall. Uh, you see uh, a tattered pair of dress pants and white shirt with a red vest over it. Uh, Bones held together with film uh, make a jut out from under the shirt. He appears to have 4 arms, and as he fully comes out and looks at you, you see that the skull has been replaced with a uh, cinema projector with a red fez on top of it. Green gas pours out from around him as he cocks his head to presumably look at you.
Question to not this guy, but
I can't hear you.
question to the GM, not this guy. Um, is this a Geist?
Yeah, you can easily tell that this is a powerful ghost. Thus, a Geist, rank 3 ghost.
Okay then, Mr. Projectionist, sir. I had a question. We were wondering if it would be disruptive to your usual film schedule to have an evening where we were going to look back to the events of the Hollywood gassings and find out what happened. Since this is your home, we didn't want to do this without talking to you first.
The film reel in the projector that has replaced his skull starts spinning. You briefly hear a few snatches of "Let's all go to the movies" before a grainy voice starts to speak. "You're the sin eaters I've heard about.
We are, sir.
I see you've got the meathead and the prom queen with you, but I don't recognize 'Let's all go to the movies' this young woman."
We call her Be Aggressive. She's about as new as we are.
I have an out of
Crap.
character question,
Yeah.
just so I know. Is he speaking in his own voice or is he speaking in like clips of dialogue from movies?
The voice seems to waver between a raspy male voice and random snippets of dialogue. You can see the film strips that are intertwined with his bones moving, and various flashes of old movie scenes can be seen across them.
Obviously, we would not want to interrupt your schedule and your space without your permission. So we wanted to talk to you about it first.
What do the gassings? What? Why do you want to know about the gassings?
Because somebody gassed us to death.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Oh, he says, to death?
Well, some of us met other fates afterwards, but he took out our entire class with the gas and then performed a number of ritual murders. And we think it might have some connection back to the gassings. And we won't know
Let's all
unless
go
we
to
find
the
out about the
movies.
gassings.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. The projectionist grabs the film reel, stopping the song, and then puts it back on, changing it out for another reel that seems to have appeared from nowhere. If that's what you want to know, then fine. I'm sure that I can tell the ghosts who come here that we're not showing anything for one night.
If tomorrow evening would be acceptable, we have or some evening soon, whatever would be convenient for you. Read the GM.
Of course, I can make arrangements. Do you know the Mad Undertaker? He has free reign of this city, so I can send a message by him.
Thank you. He's a friend of ours.
And now, said the projectionist, standing up to his full height, I must supervise my younger living colleague.
Of course.
Film is dangerous.
Truly it is. Thank you for your time, sir.
He turns and walks back around, back through the door. You can almost hear the snatches of "Let's all go to the movies" until he gets all the way through and disappears. The movie kid, meanwhile, is looking extremely nervous.
Hey, kid.
So you want to see the gassings?
We kind of need to learn what happened.
I don't know if I want to see that, he says.
It only happened in the one theater. You've got several theaters you can hang out in while that's happening.
You'd have to take me there. I'm stuck in this one.
Don't worry, we can get you out of here. After all, actually, I found a little trick though that once I get the last bit down, might let you go all around town. Maybe you can catch a film over at the other place.
His eyes light up. Oh, well, thanks. I didn't want to see that again, okay?
Of course not.
That's normal.
I'm not looking forward to having to see mine again, but I'm gonna have to.
Movie kid waits in silence for you to take him back to the theater.
We walk back on down and take our seats. Sorry, hon. Thank you for your help.
He nods and says, anytime. He eats a few more handfuls of his ghostly popcorn as he stares up at the screen, waiting for things to come on. The theater slowly fills. Uh, People have come to see this film festival, and the Old Town Theater is packed. Um, right when things look like they're about to start, you see a local cop motion to the projector and walk up in front of the silver screen. Hello, everybody, he says. I'm Officer Mullaney of the Whispering Peaks Police Department. Before tonight's festivities begin, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you see anything that could lead to the capture of a suspect in the recent killing of the high school senior class, please call the police. We have a tip line set up specifically to take any information you might have. While Officer Mullaney talks, you hear a plainted cough from several rows behind you. You hear a lady say, "Oh, honey, don't," before you see a man in a cowboy hat stand up. Sheriff Spade looks Officer Mullaney directly in the eyes and says, "This is under the jurisdiction of the county sheriff's department, officer." Officer Mullaney looks nervous, looking around. He drags a handkerchief out of his pocket and begins wiping sweat away from his forehead. He's middle-aged in a patrolman's uniform. He doesn't look like he's getting paid nearly enough for this. You know, Sheriff, the chief says that it's the city PD's jurisdiction over this. The county sheriff department began the investigation, says Sheriff Spade very pointedly, and we will continue the investigation. We have a tip line set up as well. Everyone just call this phone number instead. You hear another angry voice as someone from the back of the theater stands up and says, "Now, Sheriff, no, you can't do that in my town." At this point, a older woman
Hey,
in what appears to be a Elvira costume for a woman 20 years younger walks out, gently pushes Officer Mullaney away from the screen. So, "Sheriff, Chief, respectfully, shut the fuck up." I have jurisdiction in my theater. And everyone begins to clap.
Hey, uh, Ethan,
Yeah.
this might be a stupid question. Can you listen to other people's voicemails? Like, say that of two tip lines that just got read out? I don't know how hacking works, so that might be a stupid question.
I'll see what I can find out. If
Sorry.
there's a, we'll talk later about it, okay?
Right, the theater owner begins hyping up the evening's lineup. Uh, it seems that the tension between the sheriff's department and the city PD has gone down for at least now. First off, do you guys intend on sitting through the movie, or did you want to go sneak off and do stuff?
Uh, to be honest, we were mainly here to be here after the movies were done to get access to the empty theater. At least, also, we wanted to see Casper the Kung Fu Cat. I mean, that was the primary reason we came here.
Yeah.
Uh, but to be honest, what we had in mind was trying to get access to the theater when it emptied out to see the show.
Alrighty. Well, the movie comes on, and everyone goes quiet. The movie kid watches in rapt fascination the story of a chimp that receives the wrong blood transfusion and breaks out of the Brooklyn Zoo, terrorizing a low income tenement. 80 minutes later, uh, the movie ends and the crowd filters back into the lobby and outside. There's a half-hour break until the next movie. Everyone roll perception.
Absolutely.
Oh noes. All right, all
At
right.
the opera tonight.
Da.
Oh God. They wouldn't do it again, would they? Wow, one success.
Two
I
success.
failed my roll, but I would like it noted that I rolled 3 sevens, and that should be considered lucky.
7. Hey, I'm 7 Bill.
Ethan and Ty hear a quiet noise uh, from one of the employees only doors behind the concession stand.
You know, I've never been one for much reading. I go take a look. That sign can't stop me because I can barely read.
All right, Ethan, you want to do anything, or you just want to wait for Ty?
Can I make any details about the sound?
You know what? Give me another roll, and I'll give you some additional information. It's very quiet, so you can't hear too much. So let's say wits plus investigation, or any other role that you can justify.
Can I assist?
I'm gonna have to say no because you weren't able to hear the noise.
Yeah. I was just going to empty my glass and hand it to him.
Um, I don't actually have a good role for this, so I'm just gonna go along with Ty.
Ty, subtle as a brick.
Ty pushes his way into behind the concession stand. The 20-something working there begins to say something, but thinks better of it. How can I help you? He says.
I'm sorry, I heard something weird. I didn't realize this was the concession stand door. You alright, dude?
I'm fine, but now that you hear it, now that you mention it, I do hear something from the door. He looks over at it. I should check since you're customers.
You got it.
Uh, he opens the door and closes it. He comes back a moment or two later carrying a pet carrier. He sets it down on the concession stand, and Casper is clawing at the front of it, meowing.
Hey, Casper.
The cat looks up at you and seeming to be comforted by a human presence. He begins to purr and settles down.
So I'm going to take a look and see if I can figure out what disturbed the cat. Would a perception roll maybe get me that?
Yeah,
Doing my
but
best.
you will need access to that room if you want to perceive anything about it.
I'm just going to brazen say, I'm just going to go figure out what's going on with this. You've got work to do. And just not listen to anything he has to say and just go do that. This dude seems like he's got roughly the same amount of spine as your average tube worm, so I think he's just going to let it happen.
Predictably, he doesn't appear to have any objections. Do Ethan and Nathan want to come along?
Uh,
You've already got your
Nathan
meds in you.
Nathan takes off his hoodie and wraps it around the top of the carrier so that he can hold the handle and brings the carrier along with them.
No. Nope. That's not what happened.
He also got 3 sevens.
That was 2 successes, Kenny. Tell me what I see.
All right. Is anyone else coming with Ty back there?
Yes.
Yep.
Does anyone else want to roll?
Yes.
Perception or wits plus investigation?
If
Either
someone
one.
has wits plus investigation, I don't, so.
Neither do I.
Well, we figure out who has it. I've got like 4 dice total, and that's not very good.
Luck.
Well, it
Two
looks like we've
successes
got.
on the wits plus investigation.
So we got 2 and 2 for both types of rolls.
And Ethan, do you want to make a roll? One or the other?
Um,
Look for spooky stuff. I don't know. Maybe his feline chi is polluting the air.
Oh, wait, I have an idea. We're in the back room. Can you see if there's any,
Tech
the
stuff?
camera thingies? Like the surveillance cameras?
I mean, yes, there's definitely surveillance equipment back here. If you want to mess with that and see what you can see, intelligence plus computers.
This seems like the place that just have them on Wi-Fi.
yeah. I'll do that. I'll see if there's gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get into the PCs or into the security cameras.
All right.
Eh,
All right, you three find yourselves in the back office of the theater. Um, one by one. Ty, being first in, immediately notices that the back office is in disarray. It looks like there were some piles of papers on the desk, and you can see a spot that had been cleared off for Casper's cat carrier. But now the papers are all over the room. Uh, Nathan, looking around, notices that there is a door into the alley from this office, and notices that the doorknob appears to be broken. Uh, Nathan, no, oh, Ethan, is the one rolling computers.
Yes.
Uh, Gets into the surveillance system, uh, and catches footage from the back room. It looks to be from about 20 minutes ago. Uh, Jared Dibbler is sitting in front of the desk, which is otherwise empty, uh, counting money from his cash box, while the surveillance tape doesn't have audio. Uh, you do see him look up as if surprised by a noise. He heads towards the back door, and then you see him falling forward over the desk before uh, being yanked away by something off screen. A moment or two later, you see a figure in a yellow raincoat walk in and a gas mask walk in, take the cash box, and leave through the same back door.
You see, in this world, there are very few things that can stop a motivated Ty from going where he wishes to. Broken knob or no, a portal will be opened when I demand it. And when I see a man walking around in a yellow raincoat having apparently committed murders, I am going to get answers. So, if and you don't mind,
Quick
I
question. Should one of us go get one of the cops?
you're welcome to do that. Um, I have a thing that I've actually been waiting on doing, so if I could just finish that description real quick. Everyone else has gotten to do a really fun, like, in character thing with their powers. Here's mine. I summon the rage, turning the key of silence. Whereupon, after the horrific transformation settles into my muscles, I smash through the lock with my bare hand.
Right? Would you describe what the rage does to you?
So you guys all know what Ty looks like. He's a brick shithouse. Just a giant mass of meat that's about 8 feet tall. And we all know what our dear friend Be Aggressive looks like. She's Samara, but with Wolverine claws and a face full of teeth. What we're doing is we're taking just the approximate center of those two things in the worst possible way. My hockey hair grows down my shoulders, turning black. Horrific claws erupt from the end of my fingertips. My body turns twisted and hulking and brutal. I smash the door in between me and the exit.
Well, the door is thoroughly smashed, and you find yourself in the alleyway behind the theater.
Is there a body or blood stains here?
No. You do see that several bags of trash appear to have been popped open in the alleyway. Garbage is scattered everywhere.
Thinky. Sorry, I can't speak. I'm learning the power. I did not speak. I did not choose to do that. Sorry. I point at the mess, staring at them, eyes pleading,
Nathan goes over and starts looking through it without touching anything with his hands.
trying to.
The garbage itself doesn't seem to be exceptional, but it looks as if the bags were struck open very recently. Perhaps by a kicking foot or a flailing hand.
All right. Are we able? Well, Nathan, I think you're the one with the investigation role. Unfortunately, I do not.
Okay, I'm going to look at the direction the trash is strewed in to see which way they went.
All right, that'll be wits plus investigation, please. Well, or intelligence plus investigation, either or.
One success. Also, Jeff, it looks like you need to scroll in the dice window. What's up?
Um, After we get that answer, I figured out something I can do. But I'm gonna wait for that answer.
Nathan examines the signs of struggle in the alleyway. Uh, to a casual glance, it simply looks as if someone had broke open a bunch of trash bags. But there is a pattern in the way the garbage is strewn through the alleyway. Uh, it all goes in one direction mostly, as if someone had been flailing around while being dragged off.
I'd like to make an athletics roll. Strength plus
I
athletics.
can't hear you, Jeff.
I'd like to make a strength plus athletics roll to send to the roof of the buildings and follow the path of this overhead, where I will be less likely to be seen and thus intercepted.
All right, so you want to jump on top of the roof?
Yep, I have an excessive amount of muscle, and I have athletics 5 and strength 3. Let's rock and roll.
All right. I'm not going to make you roll considering what you've got. Uh, Ty, in his rage-bound form, leaps onto the roof of one of the nearby buildings. Um, Having been informed of the pattern of directionality by Nathan, it's actually much easier to see from a higher vantage. It appears that there are signs of a struggle leading away from the theater, down the alley, and behind another building so as to intentionally avoid the area where the film festival is going on. The signs of the struggle stop at a small apartment building across the street, specifically at a back door, which has been apparently opened with a crowbar or something similar.
An equally subtle arm of entry is made by a giant, terrifying monster man who looks for any further attempts.
I'm sorry, I couldn't make out most of what you were saying.
A giant, terrifying monster man forces his way through the door, seeing if he is able to determine anywhere else man with crowbar went.
Right. The other two, what are you guys going to be doing during all this?
You guys do not have to follow me if you do not want to.
I was thinking about alerting the police, but I think that's a really bad idea when you're hulking out and following them.
I'm real sorry, Haas, but like, uh, I have a chance to catch up to the guy who murdered me. I am not thinking about. Wouldn't it be nice if the cops were involved?
No, I totally get it. I just, I was just saying why I think I'm not going to go get the police.
Well, Ethan and Nathan, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna follow along and try to actually is hey Tibbs, hey Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes?
How how big a nerd is Nathan?
I think Nathan is not only a nerd, I think he may be into dork territory. He strikes me as a severe dork.
Tibbs?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Like, I,
kind
I,
of
I feel like Ethan is your classic nerd, but I think you've gone all the way into dork territory.
Okay, so Nathan follows along Ty, going as fast as he can. He's not as fast as Ty because he's very small. But he does pull out practice padded nunchucks from his bag.
Yep, I see it. I can see it in my mind.
Ethan, what about you?
okay. Um,
Since you are already in there, my dude, could you maybe remove the horrifying monster from the footage?
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see about um downloading a the footage of uh the attack and also removing the footage uh of Ty.
All right, give me intelligence plus computers, please.
Oh, right. Uh, come on. Sorry, my keyboard decided it wanted to stop typing. Give me a second.
Take your time.
How many dice are you
All right.
rolling?
9 dice.
I can roll for you.
Thank you.
Well, 3 successes are enough.
There we go. All right.
Considering that the security system used by the theater isn't particularly robust, it isn't hard to scrub the footage of Ty's transformation and to download a copy of the footage of Jared Dibbler's kidnapping.
Okay.
Will you be coming along with the others?
Yeah, I probably should. Not sure how much help I can be right now, but we'll see.
You are the second most dangerous person on the squad, my dude.
Fair.
Actually, no, wait, sorry. The first most dangerous. My apologies.
All right. So what do we got going on?
All right. So Ty arrives first uh, with Nathan and then Ethan showing up. Uh, Ty may be struck silent by the key of silence, but well, seeing that door hanging off its hinges uh, makes it a lot easier to tell what's going on. Inside, this is a small mid-income apartment building, 3 floors, not much taller than the theater across the street. You're in the maintenance stairwell. Um, since there isn't any convenient trash or anything like that to point your way, give me a perception or investigation roll.
Hi, Tibbs.
Yep.
How many dots in Boneyard do you have?
2.
Doesn't that let you know where everybody is?
1 sec.
Because I thought you could detect at 1. And I thought at 2 you'd be able to get something like, I don't know, an apartment building. But I don't know offhand.
Um.
If nothing else,
Okay. So the um. How important is this?
I
we
will be
might
right
have the
back.
murderer in this building. How important is that?
Did you have another idea?
Okay.
I just
So
thought it'd be a cool way to showcase your super cool powers, but
yeah, yeah. No, it's just a matter of how I'm going about this.
we one worst case scenario, we end up with an extremely awkward case of owning someone else's cat, which I am not quite emotionally ready for as an 18-year-old kid with a friend who is deathly allergic.
Yeah.
Also, the cat being censored by your camera filter is hilarious. Um, anyways, 2. This is as close as we've been since the night of our murder to the guy who did it. If we can get anything, even if just a fleeting glance of him running out the window, even interfere with his plans, who knows what we could do with that? If I
Okay.
could get a little blood off of him, who knows what we could do with that? And of course, Ty is not rational right now. Ty saw a yellow raincoat and ran after it with blood in his mind. So like, you know, you guys need to do the thinking here, because he's just going to look for a place a crowbar went through. And that's probably not going to get us an answer.
Okay.
After all, he did just run through city streets as a full-ass monster for no clear reason. So,
Yeah. Hold on 1 sec.
thank you all for your patience. Thank you.
Okay. So is this dumb?
Is what dumb? Describe it.
Oh, cause the number of charges returned when it's supposed to spend charge for one of the following vaccines. Okay. Is there no dice points?
What are you
Okay.
trying to do?
Oh no, I was just uh I was wondering if there were a few things that I could do um to to hype things up a bit with the boneyard.
Okay.
But for now, it doesn't appear to be the case. So I am going to use the uh, key of grave dirt to get um, to activate to activate raise the boneyard. So the if I'm not mistaken, the key gives me 5 plasm to play with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to do 3 plasm for the size of the boneyard, which is a large house or building,
Hmm.
and then we'll and then a fourth plasm to do um, eyes in the painting, the scene, so that I can transfer my perception to wherever the uh, man in the raincoat is.
All right. The dice pool is synergy plus boneyard. Roll them bones for activation.
Okay, plus strength because I used the grave dirt, right?
I
That's right.
realized I
Yeah.
did not roll rage. I will do so now. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I totally forgot about that too.
I was really hype about getting to use it. I'm sorry, boss. And so that's a grand total of 3 plus silence, which is, I
Four
believe,
successes.
stamina. So
Okay.
successes.
All right, what did
And
what?
yes, grave dirt is strength. All right. And thank you, Ty, for the retroactive roll that we both forgot about.
Sorry,
All
boss.
right. So you successfully activate the boneyard. Would you like to describe what your haunt is doing, Ethan?
So so the boneyard basically gives turns a um turns in a given area into my domain. So how I'm picturing this is a um, just the walls uh, get get covered in just a slight dusting of just well dust. They haven't been touched in like a decade, and throughout throughout the area, any any wires that are seen, they look like they're just a little bit too well used, let's say. like like the kind of wire where you look at it like, ooh, we should probably replace that, but everywhere. And if it was already like that, now you can see like actual exposed copper wire and whatnot on the inside. Um, but yeah, so basically what I'm doing is dun, dun, okay. So yeah. So with the level 2 of this, um basically I'm aware of anybody within the within the boneyard from level 1, but this one I can with level 2 I can actually transfer my awareness wherever I want.
Hmm.
So I'm seeing if I can find the man in the raincoat.
So the boneyard being summoned, Ethan gains a perfect awareness of the building. It's like the building itself is a part of your body, and you can feel where people are in the apartments. One here, two there, three there, etc. You can also feel the presence of someone going down the fire escape. by themselves. Do you want to switch your perception with since you spent for eyes in the painting
Yep.
to another point of view?
Yep. I want to, yeah, I want to see if I can get a better look at this guy.
Can I ask a question before we go much further? Is is he aware of a corpse anywhere in the building?
If you're looking specifically for a dead body, yes, there does appear to be one here, Ethan. So you wanted to swap your perception, or did
Yeah,
you want
so
to?
okay. Give me just a second. I want to read the technicalities on the eyes in the painting. Um,
You cling them to a given place. Why don't you cling them to his eyes?
hold on a sec. This extra leaves some telltale signs. As okay. Um, let's do. Try and think of how best to do this because. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I have an idea. The inside of his cell phone. Give me the SIM number of his cell phone.
That is an extremely creative use of it. So you want to transfer your awareness into the pocket of the person on the fire escape and into a position where you could potentially see a SIM number.
No, I was thinking of transferring my actually I got it. Um Transferring my awareness to the uh to the out to to his to his cell phone so that I'm aware of the IP address that it is sending out.
I don't know if you can see that with your eyes and ears, but you could definitely see the SIM card, my dude.
From the reading of eyes in the painting, the singer can project her awareness to any point within the boneyard, allowing her to listen, look, or even taste the situation as she were there herself. She can even place her projections and perceptions in places her physical form could never reach or fit into, like the eyes of a painting hanging high above the great fireplace. So you can absolutely transfer your awareness into the cell phone, but it would be more like you are looking out from the cell phone.
See, that's the thing. It said you can even okay. Oh, is it okay? So let's back up. Okay. What I want to do
Also,
is
has anyone
project.
told
I want to project my sight into the cell phone so that I can read the the all the information on his SIM card.
The information that is printed on the SIM card.
Yes, that's printed on the SIM card.
Okay, because I was about to say I don't think you could like read his emails from within his cell phone.
No. That was me stretching a bit. Well, but yeah.
Have you told Monster Boy where he is?
Jeff, fix your mic.
Have you told Monster Boy where he is?
Of course.
I'm moving. I'm near the door. The fire escape comes to the side of the building. I can beat him there. I'm faster than he is.
Nathan turned around and ran back outside to the alley to try and head him off.
Alrighty.
I believe running would be athletics, yes?
Yes, that'd be dexterity or strength plus athletics.
Unfortunately, I'm not on my skates, and I don't feel like I can justify leaning hockey into this. So, unfortunately, we're just getting a raw 6 here.
All right. Well, uh, Ethan is able to read the details off of the SIM card. Uh, I would also like you to give me a intelligence plus wits roll to memorize that.
Do you have eidetic memory? Or am I misremembering that?
I
Because
do.
yeah, if you have eidetic memory, then forget that. You don't need any roll to remember it. You get a good hard look at it, and that's all you need.
Yep.
It's not going to last long, but we can get something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone like this is going to have burner phones, but if he even takes it home, hell, if we even just see a method of travel, we could probably get a couple of camera views of him moving across the city.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that getting that information was my big contribution here. From here, I'm on the phone, uh,
Hack.
guiding the other two, uh, as to using optimal routing.
Okay. Let's see. Bear with me. So let's see. Well, Ty passed the roll, so where were you wanting to run to, Ty?
He's running down the fire escape. The fire escape leads to the ground. I will meet him there.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
The fire escape leads to the floor. The floor is where I will meet him. He is heading to a fixed location because the fire escape only has one exit. Therefore, if I am there waiting for him, he either has to go back up into the building, which is contained, or he has to go right into the arms of a big angry monster. Either works for me.
All right. So, uh, and what was Nathan doing? Just following Ty?
No, Nathan was running back out the way he came to get to the head of the alley, and he starts filming on his phone.
Alrighty.
So you're going to catch him if he gets away from me and runs out.
Hello, Olive.
I have
Okay,
nunchucks, a cat, and a phone.
so just to make sure I have this straight, uh, Ty is going to be waiting at the bottom. Uh, Nathan is going to be waiting at one end of the alley. Which end? This alley will either take him out on the far side of the block away from the theater, or the other end of the alley would take him directly out into the block party around the film festival.
Guys, I'm gonna need some input on this because in one way, I think it would be easy for him to blend into the crowd. On the other, I think that he would want to be not noticed and would run the other way.
Uh,
Alrighty.
Forcing him into the crowd, there's lots of ghosts there. We could probably use those for tracing him. He's fairly distinctive. If we get even a look at him, we can ask for help finding him.
I mean, he is wearing a
Besides, we already
raincoat.
kind of. If he goes in where the crowded people are, I can't do anything. If he goes the other way, I can chase him. So
Okay,
why don't
so
you intercept him at the other end, where all the people are?
I'll stand between him and the festival.
Besides, if he goes back towards the theater, that means he's planning on killing all the people there. And we can't have that.
All right. So Ty arrives at the bottom of the fire escape. Nathan takes up a uh, position at the end of the alley, leading towards the theater. The two of you can hear someone stomping down the fire escape. And now I shall roll a chance die for this NPC. A stocky man in a yellow raincoat and gas mask. Well, stocky person, you're not quite sure what gender they are. Uh, Slides down the ladder leading up to the fire escape and jumps onto the ground a few feet away.
I lunge. So before I do this, I'd like to do one last invocation of Plasm.
Mm-hmm.
So the mem memory effect, god damn it, remembrance trait that I get from Be Aggressive, the first one, is Retribution, the combat style.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend all 3 Plasm to get all 3 dots, putting me at Retribution 3 for the rest of this scene.
All right.
I
So you
gain
lunge
plus
toward.
2 to rolls to track or pursue assailants. My making all attacks add plus 1 to damage, and I gain armor 2/0 on top of that which already exists. I lunge out and attempt to smash him with my fist.
All right. Make a roll then. That would be strength plus brawl.
Yes. If you want to say something, you better say it now.
Hold
Um,
on just a moment because I'm getting his defense.
okay.
Go go ahead and say what you were saying.
Can I do one last uh transfer of my sight before he or they leave The fire escape.
Got charges?
From what it says here, you can pay 1 plasm to transfer your perception anywhere you want, anytime you want,
Okay. So
except for your body. That's free.
yeah. The last thing that I want to do is transfer my sight um to their clothing and see if I can find any tattoos, scars, hair color, eye color, stuff like that.
The gas mask is going to have no light inside of it, so there's no sense going there, but if we could get something.
Uh, that's a heck of an ask. Um, I have never thought how easy it would be to see a tattoo from inside of a shirt.
I think hair color with a whatchamacallit, a with a raincoat, that would probably be pretty easy to have a small amount of light filter in to see that. Because I'm imagining the problem here is that it's dark and you don't have night vision.
Yeah,
But we could probably easily get hair color and possibly hair length with that. At the very least,
yeah.
whether it's short or long hair. That gives us something to go off of.
Mhm.
Right, so that's what you want to do? Look for hair?
Yeah, yeah. See if we can get a
Hair
look
length, color,
and
style.
yeah, length, color, um, and like whether it's curly, straight, that kind of stuff.
All right. Ethan creatively transfers his awareness to the inside of the killer's raincoat hood, um, and gets an eye full of short-ish gray hair.
Does it cover all the skin, he can see?
Yes, it's
Okay.
long enough to cover the ears and stuff from where you're at, but it's not super long.
Okay.
Maybe a few inches.
Well, no twofers, but we do know something. Gray hair.
All right, and for that roll, 4 defense. So -4 to your roll, please.
All right. Willpower. So, swing bata bata. 2 successes. So let's talk about what the rage actually does. The rage does not have charges like everything else does. The rage activates for a scene until I decide to turn it off. During that scene, it does as much damage as I have spent plasm on activating Vent the Rage. Because I decided to turn a key, that number is 5. Wait, weapon means... Sorry, I'm actually rolling 5 more dice. Excuse me. I misremembered. Sorry, it's been a while since we've done combat in World of Darkness. Anyway, so that's a grand total of 5 successes. I don't believe I have any base damage that adds. Sorry, it's been a while. So there we go.
All right, let's see.
And unless he's a ghost, it's still just bashing. But, you know. If he is a ghost, congratulations on your lethal damage.
You
And I'm
spent
also scared.
5. You've spent 5 plasm on Vent the Rage, right?
Correct. I don't think I'm allowed to spend more than that. If I can, I would have.
All right, so your unarmed attacks. So that means you've got a weapon rating of 5. So that means that will, after defense, have done 8 damage. So, Ty's fist smashes into the killer's stomach, knocking him through the air and through a nearby wall. Bricks crumble. You can see the killer immediately stand up and run into the building that he's been knocked into.
Is it the same building you just came out of or a different one?
Different one.
Damn it.
The one behind it.
With the force of the punch, did the hat come off? Did the gas mask move at all? The raincoat?
Did we get anything?
Nope. Unfortunately, no.
Worth trying. So, I get a +2 to pursue him from retribution. Is that
Right,
just,
so you would like to pursue?
unless somebody stops me, I'm going after him. You guys can stop me at any time, but I'm not thinking.
Nathan, Ethan?
I'm not there.
You're a voice on a cell phone right now, is what you said. You could shout in the cell phone and I would hear you.
Eventually, though, as the killer leaves your boneyard, the cell phone would no longer be a target.
No, he called us, is what I understood.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, I'm that too. Sorry, but regardless, the hood of the killer would also no longer be a target once he's outside your boneyard,
Yeah.
and he is definitely no longer in your boneyard.
Yeah.
Well, am I chasing him or not? You guys have one opportunity to stop me, and it's right now.
Nathan is following along with his cell phone camera. Set into the private folder. Like, I had Ethan make a private video with space in my phone that can't be hacked by anyone.
Or at least isn't going to be immediately uploaded to the cloud.
Yeah.
All right. Monkey see, monkey punch. I'm going after him.
All right, so we've got a chase in our hands. Give me a moment to pull up the chase rules. All right. First off, Ethan, I'll let you reset your perceptions anywhere you want for free since your target has moved outside of the boneyard, including going back to your own body if you would like to end the boneyard.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the boneyard and start.
Could you check one thing before you do that?
No, what's up?
The crime scene where the murder is?
Right. With yeah, I'm going
Could you go
to.
deal with that if you're not... I don't think you can catch up with me, so could you check on
Yeah.
that one? Sorry,
Yeah.
not telling you what to do.
I I had forgotten about that in the rush of everything.
And
So
since we don't want to leave fingerprints on the murder scene, I would like it if you, the person who can just go look,
yep,
could go
that's what I'm
take a
gonna.
look.
So I'm gonna gather information without actually touching anything through the boneyard. So we'll come back to me.
Oh, all right, so we'll come back to what you're seeing on the roof momentarily. So, for the other two, it is chase time. So, as per always, let's set the terms of the chase.
Catch that pigeon.
So, yeah, you want to catch the killer, and the killer is running away from you. So, let's go with the basic number of successes 5. And I'm going to have to say that since he's already on the run, he gets the edge on the first turn.
Would his injuries count against that, or did he not sustain any?
We don't know. But if he did have a ton of damage and he does not have a ton of HP, those would be applying to any roll he made, because that's when you get injury problems, is near the end of dice. So if the last three boxes are full, any of them, he's got a -1, 2, or 3. If he's got
Right.
standard human HP, which I doubt, he's got at least one of those full.
So he's the killer sets the has the edge, and as such determines the roll for the turn.
Okay.
All right. He is going to have you roll dexterity plus academics.
So how is academics relevant to this chase? I'm very curious how that is setting the pace for running.
Architecture.
He knows the building. Gotcha. Sorry, they're a little less freeform when we're not in Changeling Land, so I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, so before I go on this, I would like to note that my bloom is my bloom is Pollyanna and my root is Servant. I will be trying to sell you on either of these. Servant, I have had somebody screaming in my head, kill this man of a spectral nature, since I got up. And as far as Pollyanna, I am seizing the day. I am seizing the first opportunity I've ever had to go avenge the person who has upset me. I am living my life to the fullest without thinking about the consequences. Which one of these lets me rebuild my willpower? Because I will sell whichever one you want as hard as I can.
I think you can refresh using Pollyanna.
Thank you. Let's rock and roll. One success.
All right, everyone has gotten one success. So the standings are all still tied. So what happens? The after being knocked through the wall, the killer immediately stands up, opens the door, and runs into the building. Ty and Nathan follow. Ty has some trouble navigating. This building appears to be storage. It looks like it may be off lot storage for the theater, because you're seeing a bunch of old seats, etc., in the hallways. The killer is bounding ahead of you. It looks like they are extremely familiar with the building. Being not so familiar, but having more pep in your step, both Ty and Nathan are able to keep pace, though not to gain any ground.
Did I miss what the building was?
Nathan, I can't hear you.
Did I miss
It's a
what the
storage
building was?
for the theater.
Storage, okay.
So,
Else is
time for the next roll. Since he still has the edge, he's going to continue with dexterity and academics.
And I'm going to remember that I have a +2 that I forgot to use because I was worried about my +3.
I would like to note that Nathan has a face mask on.
What was that? I didn't catch it.
I would like to note that Nathan has something over his face now.
You pulled your hoodie up and covered it, right?
Yep.
Two successes.
One success.
All right. The killer and Ty keep pace, but Nathan, being smaller and weaker, is unable to get around the various old pieces of equipment in the hallways that are just being left wherever. The killer opens another nearby door and heads downstairs into the basement.
That's weird. If I were running from somebody, I
I
wouldn't.
can't hear you, Jeff.
That's weird. If I were running from somebody, I wouldn't head to a basement, but Ty's not thinking right now. Ty is acting. Speaking of acting, we roll. I assume he's
Yes.
sticking with his current plan.
Yep, since you haven't beaten him and don't have the edge,
God
current
damn
plan.
it. I'm gonna lose. Yep, I just lost.
I am not going to roll yet. I would like to. I'm still on the phone with Ethan, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have Ethan pull up the blueprints for this building and see if there are any other exits for the basement. They should be on the county assessor's website.
Okay. Um,
I am
I mean,
getting the
this is a
second
matter of
dog
public
next to
record,
me.
right?
I missed what you said.
It would be public record, yeah.
All right, so Ethan can look that up for you because that would be public record.
Okay.
Well, I'm afraid he got away, boss. He got to 5 and I got to 4.
So let's narrate the end of the chase. So Ty jumps into the basement after the killer. Nathan following a few seconds afterwards. You find yourselves in the dilapidated old basement of the storage building. There doesn't seem to be much here beyond the random detritus of the theater, except in one corner, a massive old timey looking boiler. It's one of those ones with a huge furnace.
Is it burning?
So the killer races towards the furnace, opens the door, and jumps inside.
I open it and take a look inside.
As Ty moves forward to open it, a plume of greenish gas escapes the top of the boiler, and a wave of cold emanates from the boiler. When Ty opens the door, there's nothing there but water dripping into a crack in the bottom.
Was the boiler running when he went in? Was there fire visible when he opened it?
No,
Does this appear to be a functioning item? Like, does it work when it's not now?
someone give me a intelligence plus. Let's see, what would be the most appropriate role for this sort of thing? Crafts, I believe.
That's what I would say, yeah.
I don't have that.
I don't have that either.
Never mind. Um,
Nathan, do you have that? There are more than one person here.
I said no. I don't have any crafts.
so then I'm going to end it the way I should have ended it. Fuck! That swear word appears to break the spell as the giant monster shrinks down a little bit to a giant hockey player.
The rage having subsided, Be Aggressive manifests and crawls into the furnace. The water dripping down the crack uh, seems to intrigue her. She touches it briefly with a finger before take a jumping back and out of the furnace.
I would like to take my 2 beats, please, for having the haunt condition end and
What
clearing the
was,
doomed
what was
beast.
that? I couldn't hear what you were saying, Jeff. Sorry.
I would like to take my 2 beats, one for clearing the haunt condition. One for resolving the haunt condition, one for resolving the rage condition.
Okay, take your 2 beats.
I open my cell phone and I call Ethan. This is the second time you've heard Ty this emotional. I don't know what to do now. Whenever you get done with what you're doing, can you come here? I don't know what to look for.
Ty,
I didn't get him. I almost had him.
Ty,
I almost had him.
they have gray hair.
I I think he's got magic.
Okay. So while this discussion is going on, go ahead and continue it. But when you're done having it, I'm going to go over what you see at the scene.
Do that.
Okay. Um,
Oh,
Ty,
sorry. What were you doing, Nathan?
I just hit send on my final chase roll, but it's we're past that. I
Ah.
just hit action.
Sorry.
It's okay. I hadn't meant to stop the chase. I had just meant to yell to Ethan while we were on the phone.
It's kind of funny because that brings you both to 4. It would have. Regardless, the killer actually straight up won this chase.
That I think that would have brought me to 5.
Because you were at
Really?
1, then... Yeah, you were at 1, then 1, then 3, which is 5.
Yeah, that would have brought you to 5. Still, he got there first, so
I think the edge wins him the thing. I think
yeah,
that's how that
yeah,
works.
Ty,
gonna have to go with that, unfortunately.
That's
So,
okay.
Ethan, you were looking at the crime scene.
yes.
What you see, uh, there are scuff marks on the roof leading over to the edge, uh, as well as partial footprints. Looking at the edge, you see a rope tied to what appears to be a large block that had been placed there for the purpose of anchoring something. Moving your awareness down, you see hanging from the rope over on the edge the lifeless body of Jared Dibbler. The cash box he was holding, he had earlier, has been apparently nailed to his hands, and the money has been removed from the inside and shoved down his throat. You can see the ends of bills going from the insides of his mouth all the way to the very far end of his throat. His lifeless eyes stare into the distance, and you see carved into the cash box, "You can't take it with you."
Okay.
Uh, should we head back to the theater?
Yeah.
Um, could I borrow the person with the occult roll where we are at to look at this water real quick? Because I am not going to be able to pass a check here. And
Yeah.
I want to see if we can figure out anything about how he left, because I'm pretty sure this water wasn't here when he arrived.
Let's.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't got these dice.
No, it's good. It's good. I
At least I'm pretty easy to follow.
yeah. I would like to take a look, see if I can see if I can notice anything. And then I'm exhausted. That
Let's go get our stuff from the theater and not be around when the murder gets found.
yeah.
I'm going to abandon my coat in the name of letting that kid have his night at the theater.
And real quick, just the key of grave dirt. Let's see its doom.
I have I have to a living thing has to be sacrificed in the name of my pursuit. Well, doesn't say that I have to do the sacrifice.
All right. So that means that doom isn't resolved just yet. So we'll hang on to that for now. So you're still under the doom condition.
Yep. So I am going to leave. So I go over there, um, ending the boneyard condition, which I believe gets me a beat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then, um, and yeah, I go take a look at the boiler, see if there's anything weird about it.
All right. If you're going to make the occult roll, intelligence plus wits, well, intelligence or wits plus occult.
Okay. Um, 3 successes.
Ethan looks into the boiler. He sees the remains of the dripping water. The drip has since stopped, and you can only see a small pool of water that is steadily draining into the crack in the boiler. Uh, Touching it, you get an immediate burning sensation, and you immediately know what this means. This is the water of the river Styx. This furnace is an Avernian gate.
Well,
Okay.
all right, gentlemen. Good news, bad news. Good news. We've learned a lot tonight. This individual has shortish gray hair. I was able to get the SIM card number from their cell phone, and they escaped through an Avernian gate.
There's another thing. He didn't slow down at all. I punched him through a wall. He's not people. He's not at least a normal people. He's got something else. If he's not one of us, he's something. Anybody I hit that hard, they'd be limping. They'd have trouble moving. That guy was still moving just as easily as he was before. He didn't even slow down. Next time I'm grabbing him. Next
I
time
think
I'm
we can
grabbing
say
him.
I think we can safely categorize this person as a meat puppet.
He's got meat. He's got ghost. He's either one of us or he's something else. And I am going. I had him. If I just grabbed him, I would have had him. I could have just grabbed him.
Ty, Ty, tonight is not a loss,
A man is dead, and he got away.
but he didn't get away clean. We learned a lot tonight. We're closer.
We don't have any more time tonight. I'm done. I'm going home. I can't handle this. I need to go home.
It's let's
Go find his phone. He might not have it for long, but if we can get some geolocation wherever he comes out, or maybe where he came from, it'd be something. That's what hacker people can do with that, right?
I get that sim I take that SIM card. I can get a history of the cell phone that it was being used in, pinging off of cell phone towers.
Okay.
I can triangulate his movements that way.
Then you go do that. I did everything I could and I didn't do good enough. This was my one job. I couldn't even do that.
You did great. He didn't if he had been able to if he had been able to take his time, he would have spotted me. He would have felt me. You kept the pressure on so that I was able to get information. You you
The
did
other
it
thing,
perfectly.
he knows this building. He knows this building.
Hmm.
He was moving around not like somebody who was just in the place. He's been here before. I don't know if that helps.
We are a lot closer because of tonight.
All right,
I know
getting.
this feels like a loss.
Nathan sneezes loudly and
Let's get out
asks
of
to
here.
take the cat back to the theater.
Yeah,
All right, and I think that's a place to leave off.
Well,
So let's.
shall we do our aspirations real quick?
All right, who wants to go first with the aspirations?
Sure, I will. Find the killer. Step and clear.
Yeah, sure.
Get to know Josie. I think I took a step towards that. She really likes sriracha.
Yeah,
Unless Myrtle was at the festival, I did not take a step on figuring out what she was moaning about.
yeah. Unfortunately, I can't give you that one.
I did take a step toward finding my grandpa's ghost with that conversation with my grandmother.
Yep,
And I did meet a cute kitty, at first from long distance because I'm allergic, but also up close. So step and clear.
correct.
So, for Ty, get scouted for college hockey. I'm taking a look into some of the things I have planned for helping me with the hockey problem, which is getting some of my old teammates to assist however they can. Um, Being that we've got somebody literally haunting the rink we'll be operating in, that seems like a useful tool for that.
Sounds good to me. Have a beat.
Find the son of a bitch who took everything from me. This is my burden aspiration, so I'm gonna let you make the call. Is this step or step and clear tonight?
Probably just a step.
I feel it. I think step is correct for that one. Because I always envisioned this was more getting his identity, going from the mysterious killer to the Yoshikage Kira hunt,
Well, you've gotten some clues.
Oh, definitely. Uh, get someone to join the crew. Gus is part of the crew now. We have additional crew members. Catch a movie. We did. We just straight up saw a movie. I don't have to sell this in any weird way. We saw a movie. And step towards, other than that, how was the flick? Because I got permission to come back here on a night of GM's appropriate choosing to watch a different sort of event occur within the theater. And I just realized that the way that I've been doing showing off the events might come off as ever so slightly insensitive to the projectionist, and I'm deeply concerned about that now. I hope that he doesn't get angry about my style.
All right. Who's gonna? Okay. I guess that means Ethan's leaving us off.
Okay. So, get out of Whispering Peaks. Well, um, tying up loose ends is in getting closure is a very important part of getting away from this town, and definitely made some steps there.
Certainly.
I get a world record speed run. I don't think I can really BS my way through this one.
I thought you may use some extremely wacky speedrun inspired strats with
Sure.
your boneyard. Like, I would not have thought of you doing any of that. I would have thought that you would look at him from the outside to follow him or something.
Fair. Yeah, okay. My experience with, poking at the edges of games has has borne fruit in the real world, I guess.
It really
I
has.
literally would never have thought about it.
The fucking SIM card thing is an act of genius. I was gobsmacked, my good sir.
Um, learn the rules of the game. Well, definitely learned that, yeah, I can do crazy stuff like that. Uh, wasn't He wasn't sure that he could do that. He was grasping at straws. Um, find the gaps. Yeah, yeah. I'm learning the extent of the abilities that he has now is definitely um, making progress there. And I think I would like to step in clear, find Ty a new hobby because he apparently has a new hobby in tracking this motherfucker down.
I was gonna say parkour. I appear to have picked up a little parkour in my free time. In
That
fact,
too.
I might have to pick that one up. That seems like a really fun one for me to do some urbex
Yeah,
and some parkour. That's a good reason for me to be running around the city like a lunatic.
yeah.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah. And 3 beats for everybody for tonight as well.
Woo! And
Well,
crew beat?
Crew beats?
Yes, let's give 3 crew beats as well.
And that brings us up to the crew experience we need, which means we now have Dumb Supper. Woo!
ooh, which we'll get into
It's
another
huge,
time.
guys. You can't miss it. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Sorry. Next time on Second Chances.
Well, thank you for coming out, everybody. I know we went a little over time, but we definitely appreciate everyone here watching. Have a good night.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.